of course. And like, yeah, you can't keep up that up for much longer than 6 days, I would imagine.
Yeah, like, yes, I remember the demon deal you made. How can I forget?
Dean's like, I could not live with you dead. And Sam's very unhappy because Sam's like, well, now I'm going to have to live with you dead. And Dean's like, I don't feel bad. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. And Sam's like, that's hellfire. But Dean's like, I don't care. I'm at peace. And I'm like, you should care. You should very much care. That's not a place you want to go. But
then you're going to find out.
Yeah, they get back in the car and they make the most of Dean's year and they drive off to one of the Supernatural soundtrack guitar tracks. And thus ends the episode. So we're gonna go right into MVP of the week. Ella, who would you like to nominate as this week's most valuable person?
I'm just gonna do our girl Tamara. That was hard to say.
It is hard to say.
She's kind of like a proto version of a character that we haven't seen yet, I'm pretty sure.
You could say a character name.
Okay, it reminded me of like Jodie's origin story a little bit, except obviously she like wasn't involved with hunting beforehand, but yeah, very reminiscent of like, it's like a character who's just shown up and it's like their worst day of their whole life. Like,
yeah,
you know, and they're just like a side character to what's going on with the boys. But yeah, like poor doll, like just.
I know. It was a rough day for her, for sure. I feel bad.
And yet she still didn't open the door to her dead husband calling out for her.
I do respect her a lot for that, honestly.
No, she did. She opened the door.
Did she? I forgot.
She did. Yeah, because it's when he starts going off about her not saving their daughter or whatever. Yeah, that's how the demons get inside because it breaks the salt ring, and then that's when they all run in.
I forgot about that. I forgot, but yeah, she did. I was really on her side, and I get why she opened it, but
it's been a chaotic couple weeks on our end.
Yeah. Meredith, who would you like to nominate?
How about, I don't know, either Bobby or Blondie of the night.
Okay. Would you like to pick one?
Let's go with Blondie.
Okay. I'm going to nominate Bobby anyway, so.
Nice. He deserves a point.
He was definitely the most level-headed, and he was the exerciser of the family this week and the researcher, and they would not have come anywhere close to surviving without him. So I'm like, Bobby, you got this.
Yeah.
I would argue that he wasn't that level-headed, but he was very helpful, so he does get points for that.
I mean, he did go off on Tamara, but when it came to Sam and Dean, he really did mellow them a little bit.
Yeah, even Bobby gets to go off at sometimes.
2 named women in this episode. I think Tamara is the only one who was actually named.
Yeah, and she definitely didn't have a chat with Blondie.
Do the demons count?
They would if they had names, I guess.
The lust like creepily like hits on Tamara when they're in the bar. She says something about like what I'd do to her or something like that.
I guess we could count lust as her name.
I guess we could. The way that we count, like, yeah, okay, I'll go for it.
You know what? Might as well at this point.
So they did talk to each other. The other 2 women who talked to each other were unnamed, but they were the ladies at the store who like fought over the shoes.
Oh yeah.
They weren't talking about a man.
They weren't, but they weren't named, so they don't count.
Yeah. Tamara and Lust weren't talking about a man. They were talking about Tamara.
Yeah.
Are we counting this as a pass? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah, because
are we that desperate?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're desperate. Do it.
Okay, I'm making it. I'm going to make it
a dubious pass.
It's all right. We've done this before because, as I said, we're desperate.
Yeah.
This show in the early seasons, there aren't a lot of passes.
I'm curious to see the stats on that. Like once you guys like finish it.
This week's case of the week was the 7 deadly sins. Does anybody have anything that they want to say about that?
Well, I was going to the Wikipedia article.
Okay, Wikipedia's good.
Yeah, it does say that the 7 deadly sins aren't actually directly mentioned in the Bible. It's more some traditional teachings just based in Christian history since like the beginning of
that's interesting.
The church. There are parallels with 7 things God is said to hate in the book of Proverbs, but there's no like lists like pride, greed, wrath, etc. So that's interesting. And they also have 7 capital virtues. So that's all I have to say.
My only thoughts on them is that like the ones who survive, it's interesting that we never saw them again. That could have been fun. Like if they were recurring in some form.
Like there there are other series that really show how much you can do with the seven deadly sins. Like there's a whole anime based on them. And then there are also characters in Full Metal Alchemist. And
yes,
it's really interesting.
There's a really fun episode of the original Charmed where they get infected with the seven deadly sins. It's excellent.
I feel like Supernatural does really well with like other mythological concepts, but I don't think they quite used all the potential that the seven deadly sins have.
Yeah.
And especially compared to like other demons that like end up recurring, like there, you know, you find out a lot about the demon hierarchy in hell kind of, and it's like they obviously fit somewhere in there. Yeah, but we never find out.
Also, like what happens with the like three of them are dead, like dead, not just like
like is someone now in hell like finding another random soul to like turn into that somehow?
Like do they have
gluttony?
Like are they just like famous demons, or do they have responsibilities? Like where is their place in the hierarchy?
Is this a name or is it a job?
It's interesting to look into that, and it's just not very explored in the actual show. Do I have to add this to my list of fan fictions I'll never write?
I think so. I think this one qualifies.
Damn it.
Let's go to highlight and lowlight, and let's start with Meredith.
All right, let's start with Meredith. Lowlight was definitely Isaac's death. It was needlessly long, and oh gosh, it was not very nice to watch. Let's see. Highlight. I remember so little from this episode that I'm just going to go with the introduction of Blondie of the Night, who is not named yet.
But will be named soon, I hope, because I don't know how much longer I can keep calling her that. It was really funny when I was writing my notes at like 11 p.m., but
I want that on a t-shirt, though. That's such a great title.
I'm going to put it right into the merch portion of our Discord server right now.
Great. I'm a brunette, but I would definitely wear that shirt.
Same.
It's a vibe.
Yes, Blondie of the Night. Does not mean what you think it means.
Ella, do you have a highlight and a lowlight?
God, I think I'd have to agree. The lowlight being Isaac's death. Just that whole scene. Like, there's this thing that Supernatural does sometimes where they are trying to kind of be like ironic, and they will kind of be like, oh, look, like there's this situation that's so fucked up, but some of them are demons now. Like, you know, we recognize the kind of white people threatening like black people in like a bar. Mm-hmm. Like that's a thing that we can notice. And it's like that, I don't know. Sometimes it rubs me the wrong way. That,
so I'm glad that you noticed that.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I just was like, oh, fuck. And then, they play on it by kind of being like, you know, you shouldn't be in here and stuff. It was just giving.
Did not notice that they, like everyone else in the bar was white. I should have definitely noticed that, and I didn't.
Yeah, I'd probably notice it like if I had watched it yesterday, but I didn't notice it the last time I watched it.
I think I was just so annoyed that they were in there in the first place that I was like,
right, yeah, you're like, yeah.
And then things got so like icky so fast.
Yeah, it's so gruesome, and it's like so upsetting when she's like screaming his name and stuff. Like bad vibes. Highlight, I don't know. I've been accused of being a Dean girl, and I think I am experiencing that with this episode, because I have in my notes that he's about 40% more kooky when he's passively suicidal, and I enjoyed it, which is really silly. But,
I want to shake him and give him a hug, but I also agree.
He's talking really funny, like he's just being weird. I enjoyed that. I guess that's a highlight.
Like it's sad, but like it is fun to watch.
I didn't know what to put as a low light, but I'm going to put the way that the demons were talking to Tamara, because, you know, I always think that the show goes into sexual assaulty tones when it doesn't need to. I think that they default to that, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like it works sometimes and then it doesn't work other times. Like it might work better if the show wasn't just also like accidentally perpetuating like sexism and racism. You know, like it's like they're like, wow, look how sexist and gross these demons are being, and then they're like,
there's so much.
They'll have a character like make a joke that is also sexist or something.
There's a lot of very frightening violence that these demons could inflict, and they do inflict like 3 seconds later when they make Isaac drink the drain cleaner. Like that they just threaten regular violence, please. We don't need to make it sexual violence.
Well, also every time there's a depiction or anything of like sexual violence, it's not really done in a way that, I don't know, condemns sexual violence. It's more done in a way that just does it for the shock value.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Even like Dean getting like forcibly kissed by Lust, like, you know, that's like, even though obviously he's like thinking that's part of the plan, it's still really like rough to watch someone's like autonomy get taken away like that.
Yeah. So it's not really done in a way that critiques sexual violence. It's done in a way that's just there
Sexual
for you to
violence
watch.
exists, and you're gonna watch it.
Basically.
My highlight is Bobby's suit. It's the first time we've seen him in one, and he's so cute and I love him.
It's a little comb over, like
yeah.
So happy
I don't know
for
if we've
him.
seen the top of his head. He's always wearing that little
No, he's
hat.
always wearing a hat too. Like it's like no hat and the suit. And he's just everybody's favorite dad.
Yes.
Call CBS. Times when adults should be calling CBS, particularly on the Winchesters and John. I don't think I need to call this week. I think I can put the phone down.
Yeah, there were no kids.
And our newest segment is the firing squad. People who did not perform their job duties. Police, security guards, public servants, customer service, retail people. Okay, it's not really her fault. It's hard to blame her, but Jenny, the coroner's tech, appeared to be giving out sensitive information to a guy who flirted with her on the phone. She couldn't even see that he was actually hot. She just had to guess, and like she guessed right. It's true. But of course, Dean Sam's hot as he looks. But the girl, that's got to be a breach of contract to be just like handing out information over the phone like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
it definitely would have
Dean
worked better
told
if he
her.
like had gone into the coroner's office and like flirted over the
Flirted
desk or
with her,
something.
Yeah, with the FBI badge.
Yeah. I would have. Still would have been a breach of contract. Maybe. I mean, if he'd had the FBI badge, then like okay, like give information to the FBI. It's what your job is. But like, yeah, just over the phone to whoever might be calling. It's a lot.
And like, how many days have passed? Like, I'm pretty sure coroner reports take like at least a week.
It seemed like it was like that afternoon.
Yeah.
That's pretty common across all crime shows, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really a realistic depiction of anything.
Yeah.
Mental health check. I'm not a psychologist. This segment is based purely on my own opinions and a weekly reminder if you're struggling with anything else, please reach out for help. This is real bad. Dean does not want to care or to be alive. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to be a psychologist to see that he is not doing well.
yeah, he is really at peace with dying. In fact, he'd like to get to it sooner rather than later.
It's very similar to in Faith when he like, you know, gets told that he doesn't have long to live. He's like, all right,
Okay, let's do it.
which is not a good sign.
No.
I feel like they were very much trying to be like, oh, like, you know, like some people, like when they decide that they're going to die, like they find peace. It feels like Dean Winchester might have found some peace. And I'm like, I don't like it.
Nope.
My Sam and Bobby are also kind of struggling with that too. But I feel like it was very much like, look at how much Dean does not care.
Yeah, Sam's definitely going through something, but it's not the same kind of thing. It's more just like,
And it's not so urgent because Sam's still like, I can fix this. Whereas Dean's just like, give it up.
He's giving up just excitedly.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, finally, I can give up. Oh, I've been wanting to do this for so long.
He really has though. Like he's been begging Sam to quit since John died like a whole season ago. Like,
yeah.
he doesn't
Sam
wanna be
actually
here.
brings up John dying as well, and he's like, you know, you hated that he did that deal for you, and now you've done that to me. I liked that little conversation.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the only thing that Sam's ever said so far in the like last two episodes that the Steven deal's been in play that has like at all penetrated Dean's thought process.
Yeah.
He's still very much at peace with it, but
Yeah, but like he wants to protect Sam, and I guess it just never occurred to him that him dying would be bad for Sam
yeah.
because he was just so excited to do it.
Yeah.
I think he says that he doesn't care. I feel like that's what he says
I
in
think,
the
yeah,
scene.
he basically says that. He's like, I'm good with that. Like, you alive and me dead. Like, I don't care if you're upset about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sam says that he's selfish and that he's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And then Dean says, tough, after everything I've done for this family, I think I'm entitled.
which is, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Either way, the mental health check isn't going well this
Yeah.
week.
In summary, nobody's doing great, and Jean's in particular is doing very, very bad.
We're just not going to talk about Tamara. That's
Yeah,
not
can't.
not great.
I wish she was more upset. I think they gloss over like how upset
I wish she
should
came
be.
back. I wish they crossed paths with her again.
Yeah, that
sure.
would have been interesting.
But since she doesn't, that means we get to make up our own backstory. And I like to think that she went to intensive therapy, stopped hunting, and is now living a perfectly okay life.
Good for her.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's canon now.
We decreed it.
It was interesting when she, like, when Sam alludes to, like, her telling him about, like, hoodoo priest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, you're interested in that, are you, Sam? You're interested in
I also like that pretty much every time that they've been taught something about hoodoo priest stuff, it's come from a Black person. Like, it's not coming from white people.
Yeah, it's
I
obviously
can think
not
of-
like probably handled as well as it could be. Like, I'm sure you guys will get into that more throughout the season. But yeah,
it could
at
be,
least, I guess.
Yeah,
it's one thing
bare
we can
minimum.
say for them.
Soul transactions, none this week, just destruction. Still reeling from that soul transaction Dean pulled last episode.
That's a fun
was
way to
big
talk
one.
about them. Transactions.
I want to know what I can buy. Like, at the end of the season, I want to be like, what is the best possible deal I can make?
If I want to give up my soul, like
you
what
only
can I-
have
what can I
one,
get?
so you really got to get something worth